When we were kids, it was relatively easy to get into a creative mindset, right? Because we weren't worried about playing a wrong note or scribbling outside of the line a little bit. We just wanted to create something. And then you grow up and become a perfectionist and stop creating as much. But I think this child's mindset is actually the key to freeing us from self-criticism. Just create something. Even if it sucks, who cares? You made something. Go make something.
It's a mess in this attic. Lot going on, but there ain't no need to panic. Come on up and join, we getting wild, getting manic. Spitting truth for all you fanatics. Every week got something new to say. Ain't no filter, this shit coming straight from the brain. It's coming straight from the brain. Yeah, it's coming straight from the brain.
What's up, everybody? Today is Thursday, September 14th, 2023. This is A Talk in the Attic, which of course means I'm your host, Kirk Ross, coming at you today with another interview. This time I welcomed Connor Musarra. He's a musician out of LA by way of Cleveland, Ohio, so a fellow Midwesterner who's out in LA making shit happen. He's a producer and a multi-instrumentalist and a rapper. And beyond all that, he's a cool cat. And a lot of the words he shared with me in the interview you're about to hear really hit home for me. We see eye to eye in a lot of creative philosophies and things of that nature. Not the least of which, a couple years ago, he accomplished a song a day. So he committed to creating 365 songs, one per day. He didn't pre-record or work ahead. He did one song a day. Whatever mood struck him, he made a song. He released it. And of course, that grew his social media following, but you'll hear what other impact that had on him. And it's not just technical either. It's a lot of mindset. Helped him get through some of the fear that comes with being an artist and being a creator. So that really hit home for me. You're going to love this cat. Connor's got a new album that'll be dropping at the end of September. We talk about that a little bit. Of course, that's a little bit more polished version of the 365 song a day endeavor he went on. But this is going to be real polished songs. He's got some Grammy winner producers on that album. So this is a guy that, may not be a household name quite yet, but I'm so happy to have gotten him now when I still could, because he's about to blow up. He's cool. He's funny. He's creative. He looks fly as hell. He's got a dope hair. What's not to love about Connor Musarra? So without further ado, I'm going to let his song Mercury play us into the interview. Let's start the show.
Back it up, retrograde like Mercury. Do your little dance in them apple bottom jeans, but they out of season. If you got a man, why you text me on the weekend?
I'm here with Connor Musarra. He's a musician. Connor, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, so let's get down to brass tacks. Where are you at right now?
I am in my house in Los Angeles, and I currently have COVID somehow.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's not affecting you too bad, though?
Yeah. The first couple of days, it was really rough, but now I'm mostly back. So I'm just chilling.
I guess it is true that it's still out there then. Everyone kind of got tired of it, so we all forgot about it and act like it's not a big deal anymore, but it still is.
Yeah, so annoying. But yeah, I'm just laying low and trying to plan this new rollout.
Well, let's hear about it. So tell us a little bit about the project and what you're currently working on. And, I've obviously seen a lot of your stuff on Instagram. You have a nice following there. You happen to be on Loverboy, one of the producers of the theme song for Talk in the Attic. You were on his podcast. And so I know you've got a lot to talk about, and just, it's up to you now. Here's your elevator pitch. Who's Connor Musarra, and what are you working on?
The elevator pitch is, for the past couple of years, I've been going super hard on social media, and I did a song a day for an entire year.
Yeah. Like
I posted a song a day for an entire year, and then that just like spiraled into a lot of other social media stuff, and then that turned into my Steal This Idea project, which was where I go, here's an idea, do something with it, and then I play an instrument or whatever it is and give out samples for people. Here's an idea, do something with it.
Cruising down the PCH in his supercar. Dude look like a man, but he truly a baller. Got a diamond for a tooth, a gold chain for a collar. Might not know him yet, but you'll know him tomorrow. Musarra, Musarra, bigger than the desert, hotter than the Sahara.
All the while, I've been doing an artist project. Obviously, I did a song a day for a year, so that was my artist project. But but especially after focusing on the Steal This Idea series, I wanted to spend this year really locking in on the next era of being an artist for me. So that's what this is right now. I have a new EP coming out this fall, and I have a single coming out on September 27th, which I'm really hyped on.
Dope.
And this is definitely like the most energy I've put into a little batch of songs ever. So I'm really excited.
I mean, what the song a day project that you worked on is kind of where I first saw you, I believe. And I love the idea of the impromptu kind of short notice, kind of jump on it, make a song, get the hell out. Obviously now you're dedicating more time to perfect those songs. Talk a little bit about why that quick song a day vibe was a good exercise for you, and what did you learn from that?
Yeah, personally, I'm a person who, if I am given the opportunity, I can just let things sit. So being forced to finish things on a timeline, and being forced to try new things that scare me, and doing it in front of an audience every single day was really the goal, to get me out of my comfort zone. And it forced me to, of course, I got better at writing and producing and everything, but mostly it forced me to be a lot more fearless, which was the value. Yeah.
Do you find I'm like a very amateur music producer myself? I mean, just in the last couple of years. So I find great inspiration watching you develop the way you have. You recently posted a video of you, I think from 2013, making a song or something, and you kind of showed your progress of how far you've come. So obviously in 10, 15 years, I hope to be where you're at now. But that said, I agree that having a deadline, which a podcast, decides for you, is huge for me too, because I can sit there and tinker all day long. And have you found, like I have, that tinkering generally does not improve the product?
I think it's a gray area, of course. Art is subjective, obviously. So there is, of course, a point where, like, okay, you're making it better, but then there's a point where you reach, like, okay, there's not really, no matter what you tinker with here, it's going to be basically the same, and it's not really going to be noticeable enough to make it worth it.
Yeah, the kind of the classic law of diminishing returns.
Yeah, exactly. So that was definitely, the song a day process was me pushing past that and just accepting whatever it is, what it is, and that's what I felt like doing that day, and you just deal with it.
Yeah. So how many of those songs did you kind of put in your back pocket and say, okay, I could put a little more time into this and make this a real banger, or are they just being left where they were at there?
So I think maybe 100 out of the 365.
Oh, just 100
are out. Well, I think, I think 100 of them like are actually released or something like that. I don't know how many it is, but so that year while I was doing it, I put out 3 full albums and an EP of like the polished songs out of those 365. And there's still so many left that I haven't been able to totally like finish up and polish up, but I still have a list of a bunch of songs, and I still get messages and comments asking about these songs from back then.
Yeah,
it's tough.
That's a career's worth of production that you put out there in a year. That's pretty fucking awesome, dude. I mean,
yeah, thank you.
Did you find yourself getting much more obviously the fearlessness was kind of the primary focus there. Obviously, that had to have worked because you did it. But did you find yourself getting technically more adept and feeling more comfortable with your singing and because you do vocals and the production and all of that? I'm assuming you're an instrumentalist as well. I know you at least play the drums and
Yeah.
so how did that all look in terms of your progress as a musician during that thing too?
Wow. I mean, it's hard to even quantify. It completely changed my process and speed. Definitely. I write 1,000 times faster than I wrote before that. And
Yeah.
I produce 1,000 times fast. I was already fast, but just the pressure of
Yeah.
doing that every single day and almost every, I probably like 80 days in or something, I started live streaming as well. I was on Twitch, so I was showing the process. So I was literally doing it in front of an audience every day as well.
From
So
scratch, right from scratch.
oh yeah, literally every
Dude,
single day I was starting with no idea what I was going to do.
hell yeah.
So uh and that was by design because I wanted it to be kind of torture, and it was absolutely torture, but it was like I looked at it almost as an extended performance art piece or something,
For
where
sure.
of course I was losing my mind and it was really difficult, but that is the level of dedication that it takes sometimes to make something exciting. But anyway, to answer your
Yeah.
question, yeah, I play drums and piano and guitar and bass, but I wouldn't say I'm like incredible at any of those instruments, but I know how to write songs using them.
Right.
I went to Berklee College of Music for drums as my instrument, and then production was my major. But I didn't go in there like with the goal of becoming a professional drummer. Like
Right.
I obviously it made me a way better drummer to go there. I got my ass kicked,
For sure.
but anyway, yeah. But this process, like I would only prior to doing the song a day, like I would play the keys, I would play guitar, blah blah, I would play all that, but the process of being forced to do something new every single day
Right.
made me be like, okay, well, I just did like 3 songs using the keyboard. I should probably focus on guitar, like stuff like that, and
Yeah.
that pulled me out of my comfort zone a lot. And also, actually, prior to I'm just rambling here, but
No, dude, you're good. You're good. Go. I like it
prior
like this.
to the song a day process, I I didn't really play bass, but I bought a bass during that process just because I was like I need to switch it up, and I want to have a live bass sound on more of these tracks.
Right.
And and I really fell in love with playing bass during that process too. So I was almost like learning how to play bass in front of people, um, which was fun
Yeah.
and scary, obviously,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
it was great.
I mean, the bass that's there's just something about a live bass feel. Like once you get the actual feel for the bass, because I imagine the actual playing with your fingers and all of that is probably quite simple on a bass compared to like a lead guitar. But it's like that feel, that kind of I don't even know how to describe it, But when you see someone
Yeah,
that can kill it on the bass, they're not doing that much with their hands, but my God, they have they've got the rhythm or whatever it is.
totally. And especially coming from being a drummer, the I'm so used to being locked in with the bassist that it made sense to kind of be on the other side of it. And
Right.
then yeah, and then also like being like, damn, I every time I play guitar, I'm like, damn, I suck at guitar. But having the bass be like, okay, I'm just gonna like lock in on these root notes and like get the groove right. It was a
Right.
nice little like it was a different change of pace. It was nice.
Yeah, for sure. I find that in some of my projects. I've been working on some animation, cartooning type projects lately, and I have the same kind of feel that you just explained about the music, which is that so when you're an all encompassing, when you're in charge of every aspect of a project, sometimes it's for me personally, I really get in a creative flow where I'm bouncing back and forth between illustration and then sound production and then actual animation and not really being able to get stuck on just one for any length of time because you kind of got to catch up with the other parts of the project as well. I see great value in that. I think if you're listening out there, try not to get stuck in a rut and mix it up as much as you can, even if you have to do something to kind of trick yourself into why you have to mix it up. I think it's great. That's very valuable. Take it
Yeah.
from, don't take it from me, take it from Connor. He's the real guy.
Okay, I grew up in the algorithm. I really seen some shit I've been on. Black Mirror, Stockholm Syndrome. What do you do when everything has been done? Oh, goddamn. History written in Comic Sans. American dream in your right hand. Chopping a pill on a nightstand. Oh, goddamn. Big fish swimming on dry land. Keeping me warm in the winter by burning a book by Ayn Rand.
So how long have you been out in LA?
It's about to be, I keep doing the math wrong. I think it's about to be 7 years this or next month.
7 years. So I mean, it's filled with a bunch of people out there grinding and hustling. So, I mean, what's the vibe? Do you like it?
Yeah. I mean, moving here was definitely the best decision I've like ever made. I think I come from Cleveland, Ohio originally. I grew up there. So not from, you're from Detroit, right? Or,
Yeah, Grand Rapids. Yeah, but a couple hours. It kind of right between Chicago and Detroit. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so Midwest vibes.
For sure.
I came up in Cleveland, so there wasn't. I loved the scene there, and obviously, I still have a bunch of friends making music there, and I'm really grateful for like growing up there. It was a great place to grow up, but it's not really a place to have a thriving career. So
yeah, you really have to luck out to make it happen in Cleveland.
yes, exactly. And anybody that did actually make a career for themselves left and then came back. So
right.
But yeah, I love LA, and I think that that grinding nature and just like being around a bunch of other people is really good for me personally. I love being around other people that are like also trying to pursue their dreams. It's just exciting to, all my friends are also having similar dreams, as opposed to back in Cleveland. It's like, somebody's like, yeah, okay, good luck. Like I'll be over here like working
at work.
Yeah. So people look at you crazy for having a creative aspiration.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling those vibes big time too. Especially as I'm almost 39, and when you get to a certain age and you're pursuing creative things, you even get a little more of that. Like, what the fuck? Are you crazy? And not that I'm probably even older in LA, frankly, but there's other people my age trying to make it out there, or not even make it, but trying to do their thing. And so I can totally see the value in that. Is it so? While it's inspiring, do you find it discouraging at all to see the numbers, or is it purely positive for you?
Well, that's really never fazed me, just because I am looking at it as every person that I meet that is also pursuing a similar thing is a person that like can help me also. Like,
yeah, true. Yeah.
Like, and a person, and whether, and I don't even mean that in a cynical way, but help me, not even necessarily like career wise, but help me, like inspire me. I am around people that are way more successful than me a lot. So that's really helpful to push me to become better. I'm a competitive person. I want to, if I'm trying to be the best, I need to be around the people who are the best. So that's really how I look at it.
Yeah, for sure. No, dude, for sure, man. It's really dope. I mean, and you're now inspiring, thanks to social media, you're inspiring even us folks out here in Grand Rapids too. And I'm sure your homies in Cleveland are loving what they're seeing too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't want to suggest that you are at all referential or anything like that, but I do get a little bit of like a Post Malone vibe from some of your music.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you take that. Fuck yeah, I love Posty. But I mean,
yeah, I love Post Malone. Yeah.
How would you describe and I know it varies, but how would you describe your style and your type of music and your genre?
It's definitely all through the lens of hip hop music, of course.
For sure.
That's just the music that I grew up listening to and making forever. When I was a kid, I was in rock bands and stuff, but really the music that I was obsessively trying to make always was hip hop music. And of course I pull in all of these different influences and whatever, but everything is through the lens of hip hop. So I think definitely the Post Malone comparison makes a lot of sense, especially with some of my more like guitar singing stuff.
Right.
But even when I'm writing, I mean, it's almost like simultaneously kind of my Achilles heel sometimes too, is I'll some of my friends who are more seasoned songwriters, like pop writers and stuff, they'll tell me, they'll be like, you gotta like learn how to write proper hooks and stuff. Like and I'm always like damn, like I really need to become a better writer. I'm always trying to become a better writer,
Right.
but because I'm always thinking in like rap format,
Yeah.
it's kind of I don't know, it's harder for me to get in the zone of like, okay, I'm gonna write like a hooky like earworm thing, like melodically everything. So I don't know. Actually, that also going back to why I love LA is my first couple of years here, I specifically didn't do any of my own artist project. I think that was kind of a dumb decision in retrospect, but my my first couple of years here, I was only doing pop sessions basically as
Yeah.
a producer and co-writer, and learning through those people of like song structure and
Right.
really locking in on melody and like the things that make us want to repeat a song in our head. uh those are the things that are now I'm able to apply to my music, even if I'm still like, okay, I'm thinking of this through a hip hop lens. I'm trying to go more pop with it in a
Right.
way that's not corny. I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to strike a balance, but you get it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I there is some sort of expectation for structure, that is a little bit less important now than it would have been in the past, where you had to absolutely fit into a formula in order to get the radio play or whatever, which now doesn't even matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Obviously, that would be dope if you got a banger on the radio, but there's a lot
yeah.
of other avenues now, and to that end, what is the business side of what you're working on now? I mean, you obviously you're rubbing elbows with other people. You're an engineer or a producer, so you already know these folks. But like, what happens? So you get done with this EP, and then you release it on Spotify and Apple Music? Is that where it starts?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I've released, I don't even know how much, like a lot of albums so far.
Yeah.
So I've like, and it's all just like independent right now. I have a manager and a lawyer, and it's me, and we do all the business.
Yeah.
And I have a distribution deal with a company called Venice Music, which was Troy Carter, formerly of Spotify, formerly like Lady Gaga's manager. I
Yeah.
have them for distribution, but it's literally just like DIY as hell. And this rollout is now actually the first time we're about to bring like a small amount of outside investment involved,
Hell yeah.
which is exciting. So it's still like me controlling everything. It's literally just me and my manager basically putting together a marketing plan, being like, okay, give us this money, this is what we're gonna do, and we're literally about to start that in the next week or so. So just on a slight like side related rant, I
Yeah.
think that there is this like the music industry has this like pendulum of independent versus like major label backed like artists doing well, if that makes sense. Like
Of course.
it's kind
Yeah.
of like especially with TikTok and stuff, there was a couple years where it was like the golden era of TikTok, where people are just getting record deals every 10 seconds off of TikTok, and
Right.
they're doing crazy numbers and like figuring out how to get crazy Spotify playlists. And I feel like I haven't like fit into any of those little moments of like spikes of where
Right.
I've been as an artist of like, okay, now this guy's gonna be the huge artist on Spotify.
Right.
Well, Spotify, but TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's something I'm navigating now, is because especially now that I've experienced, I have gone viral many times over, but there is this weird phenomena of like it doesn't translate to music fans necessarily, even if they know that I make music.
Right.
It's like, okay, that's the Steal This Idea guy. Oh, that's the guy that impersonated Tesla on Twitter, like whatever it is. Or like a cookie guy. I reviewed a cookie, expensive cookies, and that was like insane amount of views. Like, got these expensive ass cookies. Let's see what they're hitting for. First of all, this is a crazy ass box. This is massive. What the fuck? This shit was like $150, so this better be fucking hitting. Let's see. What is this? It's a fucking what? It's like a breakdown of every cookie, a little story about it. Hell yeah. Got chocolate chip. All right, I just broke off a piece. Let's take a bite. Whoa. My initial reaction is, God damn, this shit is good. And it's still warm because it was in that hot ass UPS truck. That shit was very good. Now the question is this worth paying $150 fucking dollars to get 12 cookies? I'm not 100% sure that it is worth it, but it is good as fuck. That doesn't translate. No one is looking at that cookie video and being like, I wonder what the kind of music that guy makes. So it's very, I don't know. We're in this very weird place where it used to translate, where like if you got eyes on you, you could turn that into fans. Right. But now that's not really the case anymore. So that's something that is messing with my head as we figure this out. Is like, yes, there are a lot of people who have seen my face, but how
what does that mean now? What does that actually mean?
Yeah, how many of those people care about my music? Not a lot. So it's like,
right.
It's hard. It's hard to, I don't know. It's hard to figure out. I mean, and not to say like, I don't appreciate the fans that I have. There's like, I keep finding like people, there's this weird phenomena. There'll be people who know who I am on social media, and then they also are a fan of my music on Spotify, but they don't know that it's the same person.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So like
double blind.
Yeah. So I get comments like very frequently, like more frequently than you would think. Literally just yesterday, I got one of these comments like, hey, like I've been listening to your stuff on Spotify for like a year plus, like, and I followed you on social media. I didn't even realize that you were the same person. And I'm like, how is this possible? I don't understand how this is even possible. But anyway, that is changing the way that I'm approaching a lot of the marketing and stuff with like bringing on this investor and whatever. I'm like, I literally just need people to like, okay,
connect the dots,
associate this face with the song, please. Like, this is the face, this is the song. Like,
yeah,
that is the goal for the next couple of months of like, I want people to hear the song, but I also want them to know who made it. Like,
yeah, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's yeah. You're probably feeling like you're a little bit lost in the industry right now because of all this, but I feel like everyone's feeling that way. I mean, it's such a dynamic situation. One of our favorite bands is a rock band out of Boone, North Carolina called Rainbow Kitten Surprise, and they already had a nice following, and I mean, they had a few million followers on, or a few million monthly listeners on Spotify. But then they had like a sped up version of one of their songs became the hottest TikTok song for a while, and I saw their Spotify monthly listeners like nearly double in that time. They're almost to 6 million now, and they're actually not even touring. Wow. So like that was kind of a mind-blowing concept to me, is that here's this proven band doing awesome and putting out great work, and it took TikTok for them to really officially blow up. It just kind of like it kind of pisses me off a little bit in a way, but it you know, you can't change it. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's just the reality. And that's absolutely the position I'm in, is like however many bazillion views I've gotten, it hasn't been like my song being the big viral thing. It's my face. That's great. But I need it to be my song is the thing. Everyone's playing the song and knowing what it, I don't know. But
I mean, does that almost make you feel like all the extra side stuff is a distraction? Like, should you focus your social media presence 100% on music? And maybe that is what you're doing now. But ironically, that is what started this whole process of the song a day thing, was me being like, no, like, I don't care if this like grows slowly. I'm going to plant the flag and be like, if you only see me for a half a second, it's for music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but of course it becomes, there's a big gray area, and then you randomly post a cookie video and then it goes viral, like stuff like that. And then I'm like, I don't know. But yes, I really do think that it's important to be disciplined in your social media, in that, like, yeah, it is really easy right now, especially right now, to like do a food review or something. It's really easy to get views off of stuff like that, but those aren't, not all views are equal.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, the beautiful thing though, and which is probably why you're able to get outside money, is that you, regardless of what your success has been in the past, whether musical or otherwise, you've proven to folks that you're dedicated and committed and that you can make shit happen. Right. I mean, you say it's easy to get a bunch of views on TikTok. Well, fuck, you got to teach me then. You know, it's like it's not that fucking easy. You know, unless I'm just doing something that I absolutely don't want to do, and even that I would probably trade it for some views right now. But I mean, yeah, dude, it's pretty awesome. I'm excited that I got to talk to you right before this big new dedicated EP comes out. I'm excited. I'm excited to publicize it and listen to it and all that. So, how many tracks is it?
It's 4 tracks.
Hell yeah.
Very rare, because I'm the guy that did 365.
Yeah, just 4. That's like, that's not even a week's worth of work, dude.
Yeah, exactly. But this was in along the same lines. This was me being like, I need to pare things down just a tiny bit and get a little more intentional and a little more like, okay, here is a very curated product, and not just like, okay, it's great that everybody knows that I can make a lot of music. Everybody knows that at this point. Yeah. But if I can just be like a little more intentional and be like, okay, here is a lot, like a thought out product, then it's a little more, I don't know, it makes more sense to attach to. Maybe there's more of a chance of one of these being like a focal point song. For sure. Yeah. And it's, you can curate the representation, how it represents you a little bit better too. Yeah. Yeah. And it was hard to transition from that absolute maximalist balls to the wall, as many songs as possible thing, to now I'm like, okay, well, these 4 songs better actually be good. Like, or what am I doing if not? And especially the pressure of like, okay, now there's like other people's money involved in this. And this is like where the stakes are higher, but I just have to check back into like, this is being involved in the music industry is never a safe bet. Right. And I mean, as the artist or the financier, like it's never really safe. But if I am confident in, I guess, the intention behind the music, then there's not really anything else that I can do as an artist. It's like, it was coming from a genuine place, and that's really the only thing I can control. Yeah, dude, for sure. And I mean, it's also not necessarily about the how the success looks on paper either. Who gives a fuck? You know, as long as you're still doing your thing and liking what you're doing. I hope and you hope that you blow the fuck up. But if not, it's still going to be a dope ass project, and it's still you're gonna get better from it, and you're gonna be able to make different decisions next time if necessary, or keep rolling with it, right? Yeah, and on that, the reason I did the song today, and the reason all of this was to just learn. It's like, you don't, not to be cynical, but like, you actually don't even need to be that good. Right. It's like, you just have to have something that people can connect with and are excited about, and also know that they can come to you consistently for. For sure. So even if, because I always think about, I use this example of like, if an artist I love puts out a song I don't like, that's just a song I don't like. I'm not like, oh, I'm never listening to this artist again. That's just, well, that one wasn't for me. But as soon as they release another one and it's really good, I'm like, great, I love them. It's like, it's not that serious. Like, I want to make the best music I possibly can, of course, but there are going to be some songs that people don't connect with, and that's just what it is. Yeah, it might be your favorite song that you've ever made. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And but the beautiful thing about having such a large back catalog is when you do hook people on a song, whether it's a new one or one that they find some other way, they're gonna be able to go back and say, holy shit, this dude's prolific. And then maybe that'll change their mindset, like, oh, I can't wait for this next set of songs he comes out with, or whatever it is. I would say album, but I don't even know if albums are
it seems like the industry is dominated by more singles now.
Yes. And that's a whole TikTok argument right now. Like I had a video that people were yelling at me about of just like the death of the album, where I still want to make albums, but and I probably still will, but I have to build up to the point. You almost have to like earn the ability to justify an album at this point.
Yeah, it's too bad too because if you're a big music fan, I'm a big music fan. I love listening to an album all the way through when it's like intentional, when there's interludes and skits and things like that. It's like it feels like a very holistic thing. But obviously, the attention spans, meanwhile, are getting to the point where a 5-second TikTok might be too long for some people. So it's kind of just trying to find, I guess, get in where you fit in kind of thing.
Yeah, and the other thing is just the disjointed way in which we even consume music is most people, just the way that they listen to music is playlists, whether they made the playlist or not.
Right.
It's a collection of a bunch of different songs from different artists as opposed to one collective piece that is we're used to just like here. And that's also feeds into the reason why people might like my song and know it on Spotify and not know who I am is because it was on a playlist and they heard it on a playlist and then they add it to their playlist, but they don't know who the artist is. They just like the song.
Dude, it's just like phone. It's like when people got cell phones and you no longer know. Nobody knows no one knows anyone's number anymore. They get it, they save it. They don't even identify. Yet meanwhile, I still know all my best friends from school. I still know their parents' home numbers. I don't. Yeah. I doubt they even still have them. But you know what I'm saying? It's fucked up. But it's like
that's a really good comparison. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, while we're on the subject of albums though, what's one of your favorite albums to listen to front to back?
Ooh. One of the most formative albums for me was when I was in middle school, the album Hell Hath No Fury by the Clips.
I don't even know it. I'm gonna have to listen.
The rap, the rapper Pusha T is?
Yeah.
So it's his old group with his brother called the Clips. And they put out an album in 2006 called Hell Hath No Fury. And yeah, that's like one of my favorite hip hop albums, one of my favorite albums, period, ever.
That's the one that made you want to pursue it, or were you already kind of leading that way?
I was already on it. I mean, I would say also early on, like I was listening to Kanye's College Dropout album like for an entire summer. That was like the only thing I listened to.
Dude, yeah, my freshman year of college, that was our fucking album constantly. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
All the skits and shit are all hilarious. The music's great. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so those, and I mean, I could go on, but yeah.
Is it considered, aside from Kanye is kind of, what he's kind of more known for now, you'd be hard pressed to find a better fucking, a more inventive and dynamic producer and rapper, in my opinion, but.
I totally, yeah, I mean, yeah, like.
Nazi shit aside, whatever that
yeah, like,
is.
obviously, yeah, I don't fuck with him as a person anymore, but definitely he has had overall probably the most influence on me as an artist of anyone that has ever lived, realistically.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you're not even close to being the only person that can say that either. He's just so like the album Late Registration was great. All the shit that he came out with a decade later is great. Yeah. Like I hope we can get him back. We get him back. He's getting like getting blowjobs in Venice and shit, but
yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, dude. But I mean, there's, I don't know. I'm a big Mac Miller fan, and it seems like you're an extroverted person, but a lot of musicians, a lot of artists are very introverted, and unfortunately, the only way to make a living in music is to kind of become famous. Unless you're just a background player, which is important as well. But a lot of these guys don't want to be famous. Like they're not really equipped for it, and that's not really what they want. So it can tear through you,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, even myself, like I have to, even like right now, it's like I have to play it up. Obviously, I want to like have interesting conversations and be interesting. But yeah, you need to have a personality that people can attach to, even if some people's persona that they show to people, even if it is more reserved, that's part of the that has to be attached to the music in some ways. It makes sense for
Right.
this person to be more reserved.
Yeah.
But of course, if you want to be famous, I mean, that is part of it, is being obnoxious enough to hold people's
Yeah,
attention.
to be memorable or captivating or whatever, you might have to be a
Yeah.
little wild. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you find yourself have you gotten to the point now where there are expectations of you when you walk into a room to be a certain way, and does that come with pressure, and or are you navigating that all pretty well?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I am anywhere near famous enough to have like anyone's strong held expectations of me, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, definitely meeting people in person that know of me on the internet, they'll sometimes tell me that they expected me to be a different way or whatever, but
Yeah.
um I don't know. I mean, I try to, like, of course I play it up for the internet and whatever, but I try to keep it within the realm of like none of this is outside of me enough that it would be like weird.
Yeah. Or
Or
disingenuous or unauthentic
yeah,
or
yeah,
something. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And like even the like more trolly stuff, or like I don't know. I can be kind of like crazy on the internet sometimes. Like the Elon Musk thing or the whatever, or like roasting people in the comments, or I'm kind of crazy,
Yeah.
but that's like actually me though. Those are like
Your real thoughts
I'm
still.
never
Yeah.
gonna I'm never gonna and I had a conversation on a different podcast recently where they were asking me about all of these like troll tactics and whatever, and because sometimes those things end up getting attention, and the Elon thing is like that's on CNN and like all this craziness. But I think the difference is like you should never do those things just for the sake of getting attention, because
Yeah.
that's how you end up being like an annoying like prank YouTuber or something. Like that stuff is not
Yeah.
that's not fun or cool at all. But if you genuinely have like I keep talking about the Elon thing, but it was just so insane. But that was like one, me just genuinely thinking it was funny, but two, like I genuinely do not like Elon Musk. It wasn't like a
It wasn't a trendy thing to not like it. Now that nobody likes
exactly,
him.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, like I see this like hole in the market where like, oh, if I start being mean to Elon Musk, like I could be a cool guy. Like no, like although I did it anonymously until I realized like, okay, this is insane. Like I should probably like say that it was me. Anyway,
Well, wait a
but
minute. Before we move on from that, because I've seen this, but some of the listeners will not have seen it or heard it, and I'll probably splice into a clip after of the situation after you explain a little bit. So talk a little bit about the Elon Musk prank that you perpetrated.
so Twitter's new system of a blue check for $8 allowed me to impersonate Tesla for like 6 or 7 hours today. Yes, it was really me that did that. This is what the account looked like when I switched it over. And this is what the account looked like when I got locked out of it. So I'll go through a play-by-play of the entire day and how I went from having this account to now being banned. Obviously, at first I had no followers. I was just retweeting it from my other account and like sending it to friends hoping they would retweet it. But then Ken Klippenstein retweeted it, and he has a bunch of fucking followers. Shout out to Ken. Then we were off to the races. Started off light. I said, this is a parody account. You can pause to read these. I guess I won't read all of them. Appreciation post for our amazing founders. Our analysis engineers simulate hundreds of impact scenarios before ever killing a child in real life. And then it's a video of an actual safety video of Tesla running over a child-sized dummy that it didn't detect with its system. Breaking, a second Tesla has hit the World Trade Center. And midway through, while I was doing this, Elon tweeted this. Going forward, accounts engaged in parody must include parody in their name, not just in the bio. The only problem with that is Elon literally disabled the ability to change your display name once you're verified. The same thing happened to Doja Cat yesterday. Her name was stuck as Christmas. But I was like, fuck it. I just kept on tweeting. Honestly, the 53% drop in stock price doesn't faze us. If there's anyone who knows about crashing, it's us. That 53% is referring to the amount that Tesla stock has gone down in the last year. Honestly, there were too many tweets to read every single one of them on here, but here's another one. You may have thought we just build cars that catch on fire, but we also build solar panels that catch on fire too. We will be offering 10,000 vehicles to support the Ukrainian military. Our cars are the most advanced explosive devices on the market. Meanwhile, people were tweeting at me like, yo, put parody in your name so you don't get taken down. But I knew it was too late, so I was like, I'm going to ride this till it combusts like a Tesla battery. Oh, I guess here's more proof that it was actually me. This is the account section on the side. Also, if you go to the account, it's still technically up. I'm just locked out. I'm one of the people that the account follows. Then people started tweeting screenshots of it. So many screenshots. Then I was in the middle of trying to write another tweet and my Twitter app froze and then I was locked out of the account. So this is me looking at the account from my other account. Oh yeah, I forgot about this tweet. Everyone's talking about Twitter going up in flames, but our cars did that before it was cool. Breaking, the Tesla bot just learned how to be racist. Do any of Elon's children want to tweet from this account for the day? Let me know. Okay, and then my manager texted me and there was a Snopes article written about me. Verified Tesla parody Twitter account trolls Elon Musk for $8. Yeah, it just went absolutely bananas all over the news, international news, Business Insider, CNN, like I can't even remember. John Oliver read my tweets on air on his show, like.
And you eventually got out there and were interviewed on some of this as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. The
fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I think Newsweek was the first one, big outlet, and then and then so after I got banned that night, I was like, okay, like I think I'll like do a video explaining it on TikTok, and then obviously explaining it went bananas.
Yeah.
And I did that obviously because it was funny, but two, I didn't want, like, I wanted to make sure that I got ahead of it, like as all of these news stories were happening, and that also that no one else could like claim that it was them. I wanted to make sure that
you got to get some credit. You got to get some fucking credit.
Because somebody's gonna claim this, and I'm like, okay, well, it was actually me. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
But that wasn't like a big master plan or anything. It was just like a thing that I did that morning. Like my girlfriend like came home from work and had no idea. Like she was like,
"What'd you get up to? What'd you get up to today?"
Yeah, she's like, "What do you? You're on the news? Like, what do you mean you're on the news? Like, what's going on?" But that and actually, most people in general were on board with it and thought that it was funny, even like Elon fans and stuff.
Yeah.
But then like a week later, I put out a song called Elon Musk Can Go Fuck Himself. And then that was when they started to turn on me. So whatever.
Well, fuck them. You could do fine without that crowd.
Elon Musk, this shit blew up like a motherfucking Tesla. Cybertruck on fire like my motherfucking temper. I am just a stat in a programmer stand up. Refresh the app, bitch, smile for the camera.
Just putting together everything you're saying and knowing you a little bit better now, it's like that wasn't the point to get famous. The point of it was to put a kind of a mirror up to the absurdity of how stupid the $8 verified check mark was.
Yeah.
Right. And it worked at the grandest scale because the owner of Twitter now, it's just fucking hilarious. It's like you couldn't have burned them in any better way. I mean, one could claim that you're the reason why they got rid of that pay for verification, unless they still have it. I don't even know.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I can't claim to be the only one because there were
we're claiming it. We're claiming it right here.
Yeah.
It was you.
There were other really good, really hilarious impersonator brands and stuff like that. Yeah. Like there was the Eli Lilly and Company one where they said that I think they said that insulin would be free or something, and then the stock dropped billions of dollars. Like there was crazy. That I think was the best one because that one had like a tangible like financial effect on the company, which was crazy.
Yeah.
That guy months and months later ended up coming out and saying that it was him too, but I'm sure he was way more scared because he had they lost billions of dollars.
Yeah. Someone's gonna have a bounty out on that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, there were a bunch of others that were doing it at the same time. But I will say that Elon was specifically while I was on my rampage.
Yeah.
Uh, it took them 7 hours to take me down, and Elon was tweeting like basically directly about me as I was doing it,
That's fucking awesome, dude.
and yeah, and then yeah, they of course they banned me after that. But I mean, I can definitely confidently say that I was part of why they shut it down.
Dude, that's
They,
fucking awesome. That's
yeah,
like that's a notch in a belt if I've ever heard one.
yeah, 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 crazy.
Holy shit! I mean, I like the idea of making a song about the situation too. To kind of refocus back on to what you really are and what you really care about, which is the music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, what's funny is I had a demo of that song like months before. I had just like randomly did a song as a joke called Elon Musk Can Go Fuck Himself
Yeah.
months before I did that. And it was just sitting, and I was like, what am I going to do with a song called Elon Musk Can Go Fuck Himself? And then months later, I did this, and this happened, and I was like, okay, I think I have to put this song out now.
Yeah.
So then I made the lyrics more relevant and stuff. But yeah, it was crazy.
Dude, so yeah, if there was ever a time to share it, it would definitely be after that experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's no better time. I mean, dude, I'm super excited to have met you. I feel honored that you came on the show. I think you've inspired a lot of people just by the way that you're existing and your project and how productive and prolific you are. I guess if you were put on the spot right now, which is I'm about to do, what is kind of a lesson that you've learned in your journey so far that folks can apply, whether that's in the creative arts or whether that's any other life lesson that you've learned? What's a good message to leave people with here?
I would say that in any pursuit, but especially in the creative world, I think that quantity sometimes should be focused on before quality, just so that you can let yourself make whatever it is that is going to come out.
Yeah.
Conquering the fear of being an artist is more difficult than learning the technical side. So focusing on finishing a thing over making a perfect thing.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, you learn more that way, right? If you need to do something for 10,000 hours before you become an expert, you're not going to do that by stewing over one song in your studio for a year.
Yes.
Unless you're trying to master stewing and all the shit that comes with that. Right. What are some of those challenges that you overcame? I mean, like imposter syndrome, and we hear a lot about that these days, but what are some of the struggles that process helped you get over?
I mean, I still every day feel like I'm not that good at any of the things that I do. I still feel like I need to learn how to write song. Like I still barely know how to write a song. I feel like, even though I've written all these bazillion songs.
Yeah.
But what I've learned, like I was just saying, is that's not the important part.
Right.
Every time that you get into a, I would call a defensive mindset, that's when you start losing as a creative. You have to be on offense at all times. You need to shoot as many shots as you possibly can, and you do your best and you try to make the best thing, but ultimately that's just another shot going up. And if you miss, you have another one coming.
Right. Hell yeah. I mean, it's like you're speaking directly to my heart, Connor. And hopefully people listening and watching agree too. But dude, I appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to the EP. Do you already have a title for it?
Yes. I'll say the EP is called Suburbanite.
Okay.
And the single that comes out September 27th, the first single is called God is a Drunk.
Fuck yeah. I think he is. He might be.
Yeah.
She.
And there are two Grammy Award winners that are involved in who helped me make that song, actually, which I'm excited about.
And not including you, not including future Grammy winners.
Yeah, exactly. Not including future Grammy winner. Yeah.
Well, fuck it, dude. I wish you the best of luck, man. Like I said, I appreciate you came on, and we'll be tracking you, and I'll be excited to share your stuff when it comes out. Keep it rolling, dude. It's inspiring. Even if it feels like you're getting sick of it or whatever, just know that there's at least a guy in Grand Rapids, and I'm sure a million people around that are really benefiting from watching you do your thing. It's awesome, dude.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and thanks for having me. This was fun.
Hell yeah. Cheers, buddy. Peace out.
Peace.
All right. That's it, man.
Can I talk my shit? Okay. I grew up in the algorithm. I really seen some shit I've been on. Black Mirror, Stockholm Syndrome. What do you do when everything has been done? Oh, goddamn. History written in Comic Sans. American dream in your right hand. Chopping a pill on a nightstand. Oh, goddamn. Big fish swimming on dry land. Keeping me warm in the winter by burning a book by Ayn Rand. This man been online just fishing for hot takes that is not based. Oh, you an alpha male, then why you dressing like a high school prom date, bitch? Touch grass, etc. Switch your life for a better one. Covering up your online life like a fucking US senator. Oh, goddamn. That's an anime profile pic. Repeating the same shit, never going off script. I seen the threats and I'm still gonna talk shit like, oh, goddamn. Somebody come get her, looking like Malcolm in the middle. I pull up in the multicolored chains like Skittles. Price going up, double or triple. Churning out hits at the cribble. Travel so much I don't dribble. That dog in me like I eat kibble. How does he make it look simple? Cause after all these years I'm still going in like a dimple. Oh, goddamn. I grew up in the algorithm. I really seen some shit I've been on. Black Mirror, Stockholm Syndrome. What do you do when everything has been done? Oh, goddamn. Staring at my fucking phone like, oh, goddamn. Screen staring back at me like